Everyone told you these statues killed their own civilization. In 2025, scientists proved that's a lie. For 50 years, every documentary told you the same story. A thriving civilization of thousands of people lived on a remote Pacific island. They were obsessed with building giant stone statues. To move them, they cut down every single tree on the island. The forest collapsed. The soil washed away. Without wood for canoes, they couldn't even fish anymore. Starvation spread. Clans turned on each other. Wars broke out. And by the time Europeans arrived in 1722, a once great civilization had wiped itself out through its own arrogance. That's the story you were told. It's been in textbooks for decades. It's the ultimate cautionary tale about humanity destroying itself. There's just one problem. It's not what happened. In 2025, a study completely dismantled this story, piece by piece. Start with the forest. Scientists always assumed humans cut down every tree to move the statues. But new research points to a different culprit: rats. When the first settlers arrived by canoe, Polynesian rats came with them, hidden in the boats. These rats had no predators on the island. Their population exploded, and they had one favorite food: palm seeds. Every single seed that fell from the island's trees got eaten before it could grow into a new tree. The forest wasn't cut down by ambition. It was eaten away, seed by seed, by an invasive species nobody saw coming. The humans weren't reckless lumberjacks burning through their own home. They were dealing with an ecological disaster they didn't even understand. But here's where the story gets even stranger. Scientists also assumed that without forests, the islanders couldn't grow enough food, and thousands starved to death. A 2024 study tested this directly. Researchers mapped every single rock garden on the island, special plots where stones trap moisture and nutrients in the soil. It turns out these rock gardens covered far less land than anyone assumed, and that changes everything. It means the island never supported 15 to 30,000 people, the number cited for generations. The real population was closer to 3,000 people the entire time. There was no population boom followed by a dramatic crash. There was just a small, stable community that had figured out how to survive on a harsh island for centuries without ever destroying itself. So if they didn't destroy their own home, and they didn't starve themselves to death, what actually happened to the population? The real answer has nothing to do with trees, or farming, or civil war. It has to do with a ship arriving in 1722. European explorers didn't just bring curiosity when they landed on the island. They brought diseases the islanders had never encountered before: smallpox, influenza, illnesses their immune systems had zero defense against. Entire communities that had survived for centuries through droughts and isolation were wiped out within a few generations, not by their own choices, but by contact with the outside world. Later, the survivors faced something even darker: slave raids. In the 1860s, ships arrived specifically to kidnap islanders and sell them into forced labor in Peru. Most of the people taken were never seen again. By the time the population reached its lowest point, it wasn't ecological collapse that did it. It was disease and exploitation, brought from outside, not generated from within. And here's the part almost nobody knows yet. The other great mystery: how they moved statues weighing up to 80 tons without any wheels or machines, just got solved too. In 2025, archaeologists used over 11,000 drone photographs to build the first complete three-dimensional map of the quarry where the statues were carved. What they found confirmed something islanders had been saying for generations: that the statues walked. Researchers measured statues that had been abandoned along ancient roads, ones that never reached their final destination. These road statues had a distinct shape: wider bases, a forward lean, features that only make sense if the statue was upright the entire time, being rocked side to side with ropes, walking step by step across the island. It wasn't a myth or a metaphor. It was literally true. Teams of people using ropes and rhythm walked 80-ton stone giants across an island on purpose, and we only just proved it. There's one more myth worth breaking. For years, the island was treated as the most isolated place on Earth, a culture that grew completely alone, cut off from the rest of Polynesia. New research from 2025 challenges even that. Comparing ritual sites and stone platforms across the Pacific shows the island's culture developed in connection with wider Polynesian traditions, not in total isolation. It wasn't some lost civilization, cut off and forgotten by the world. It was part of something much bigger, a network of seafaring cultures that crossed thousands of miles of open ocean centuries before Europeans figured out how to do it themselves. So the story you were taught, the one about a civilization so reckless it destroyed itself, was never really true. The real story is about rats nobody saw coming, a population that was smaller and smarter than anyone assumed, diseases and exploitation brought from outside, and a people skilled enough to walk 80-ton statues across an island on purpose. The myth was simple. The truth, as usual, is far more interesting. If this surprised you, subscribe, because history keeps getting rewritten, and we'll be here covering it as it happens.